Hi girls, today we are going to see about equations of uniformly accelerated motion by calculus method. And we have two types of calculus, differential calculus and integral calculus. And now we are going to use these methods to find out the equations of uniformly accelerated motion. Here you consider an object moving with a constant acceleration a, and it is moving in a straight line. And here u be the initial velocity, which is equal to 0, because while starting to fall or move, the initial velocity will become 0 and the velocity is v at a time t. And here we are going to derive three relations. First, velocity time relation, then we are going to derive displacement time relation, then the third one is velocity displacement relation. The first one is velocity time relation, and you know acceleration is defined as the first derivative of the velocity with respect to time. First derivative means differentiation first time we are doing. So here a is equal to dv by dt, or because acceleration is rate of change of velocity, in that way also you can write. So dv is equal to a dt. Now the velocity changes from u to v, and so here substituting, that is you are integrating the above equation. So integral dv is equal to integral a dt. The limits are from u to v because the velocity changes from u to v. So here v is called usually the upper limit and lower limit. V is called the upper limit and u is called the lower limit. That is equal to integral 0 to t a dt, because the time changes from 0 to t. And when you differentiate integral dt, you will get a t. That is general formula. So here when you integrate dv, you will get v. So here v, the limits are from u to v, that is equal to a into t. The limits are 0 to t. And usually we should substitute the upper limit minus lower limit. That is the integral formula. So here v minus u, upper limit minus lower limit, that is equal to at. Here because the lower limit is 0, the second term will become 0. So v minus u is equal to at, or you can say that v is equal to u plus at. So this is the first equation of motion. And next we are going to see about displacement time relation. Here what is velocity? Velocity is rate of change of displacement, or you can call it as the first derivative of the displacement. So here v is equal to ds by dt, where s is the displacement, and so here ds is equal to v dt. Already you derived the first equation as v is equal to u plus at. So substituting that, ds is equal to u plus at into dt. Now you have to integrate, and integral 0 to s ds is equal to integral 0 to t u dt plus integral 0 to t at dt, because the limits are from 0 to s. Here the limits are from 0 to t, and already you know integral dt is equal to t. Similarly integral ds is s. So s is equal to ut plus, and you take a outside. What is integral t dt? Integral t dt according to calculus, that it is equal to t square by 2. So here s is equal to ut plus half at square. So this is the second equation of motion. Next we are going to derive velocity displacement relation, and already you know this formula, a is equal to dv by dt, and for our convenience you multiply and divide by ds. And what is ds by dt? ds by dt is v, that is rate of change of displacement is velocity, that you have substituted here, and you leave this part because this will be little confusing. Instead of that, I can give you one equation. Here you know a is equal to dv by ds into v. So here that you write here a is equal to dv by ds into v, or you bring ds to this side. ds is equal to 1 by a into v dv. And when you now you integrate both the sides, integral 0 to s ds is equal to 1 by a integral u to v v dv. When you differentiate integral ds, you will get s. So s is equal to 1 by a. When you integrate integral v dv, you will get v square minus u square. And so here the equation becomes S is equal to 1 by 2a into v square minus u square, or v square is equal to u square plus 2as. And you again replay this video and write equations in this book so that you can study, and this is the easy method to find integration. And next, you know already v is equal to u plus at, so at is equal to v minus u. So in this equation, s is equal to ut plus half at square. You substitute s is equal to ut plus half into v minus ut. And so here when you split up, half will go inside. So half v minus half u into t. Again you write the whole equation. Ut is equal to ut plus half vt minus half ut. And ut minus half ut will becomes ut by 2, because 1 minus half. So ut by 2 plus vt by 2. T by 2 can be taken outside. So u plus v into t by 2. So here what is s? S is equal to u plus v by 2 into t. So here there are 4 equations you must know. V is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square, v square is equal to u square plus 2as, and s is equal to u plus v into t by 2. These are very important equations. They are called as kinematic equations of motion. And you should remember all these equations. So this is for if the motion is in straight line with constant acceleration, and it is not for other circular motion or oscillatory motions. And next is equations of motion under gravity. So here you consider any object near the surface of the earth. For example, you see this diagram. Here a boy is dropping a ball from the top of the small hill. Let the height is h. So the ball is now freely falling with acceleration due to gravity g. And so here x, y, the direction is shown here. So here first you are considering a body falling from a height h. This is a case 1. And here consider an object of mass m falling from a height h, and it is falling due to gravity, and the gravity near the surface of the earth is assumed to be constant. Here a vector is equal to g j vector, g cap, because it is falling in y-axis, positive y-axis. So a vector is equal to g j cap. Here the acceleration is acceleration due to gravity. And you leave this component form, no need to read this. And here you can take a is equal to g, because the acceleration is due to gravity. So a is equal to g, and the equations becomes, instead of a is substitute g, and s is substituted as y, because y is the displacement. So here v is equal to u plus gt, and y is equal to ut plus half gt square. And the third equation becomes v square is equal to u square plus 2gy. And suppose if the particle starts from rest, the initial velocity becomes 0. So wherever you can substitute 0. So the equations now become v is equal to gt, y is equal to half gt square, and v square is equal to 2gy. And so here suppose if t is capital T, time taken by the particle to reach the ground, and for which y is equal to h. So here h is equal to half gt square. So you can get t is equal to square root of 2h by g. So this is the time taken to reach the ground. So for lesser height, it will take lesser time to reach the ground, because t is directly proportional to h. And here you know v square is equal to 2gy. You can take y as h, because it is dropped from the height h. So v ground, when it reaches the ground, the velocity becomes v ground is equal to square root of 2gh. Here instead of y, h is substituted. And here what is free fall? This is important definition. So if the motion of a body falling towards the earth from smaller altitude, where h is very small to r, where you can take r is the radius of the earth. So if for smaller altitudes, the force is under gravity, and this is called free fall. The body falls under the force of gravity is called free fall, and here r is the radius of the earth. And the second case is a body thrown vertically upwards. So here we are neglecting the air friction, And here in all equations you substitute a is equal to minus g, because g is towards the negative y axis, because the body is thrown upwards, so it is against gravity, so you can take a is equal to minus g. So here it is shown in the diagram, a boy is throwing a ball in the upward direction, so here a becomes minus g. So the equations are now v is equal to u minus gt, s is equal to ut minus half gt square, and the third equations becomes v square is equal to u square minus 2gy. And the next part is projectile motion. Projectile motion means any object which is thrown is called projectile motion. So when an object is thrown in the air with some initial velocity and not just upwards in any direction, and then allowed to move under the action of gravity alone, the object is known as a projectile. Suppose if we throw any paper or any chalk piece or any ball or anything upwards, not only just upwards but in all direction, then it is called a projectile. The body is called the projectile. Suppose if you throw a chalk piece, that chalk piece is nothing but the projectile. And usually the path is trajectory, that we shall see now. And there are several examples for projectile. The object dropped from window of a moving train, and a bullet fired from the rifle, a ball thrown in any direction, a javelin or shot put thrown by an athlete, a jet of water issuing from a hole near the bottom of a water tank. So there are two velocities, the combined two velocities. One is horizontal velocity and the second one is vertical velocity. And when you see the horizontal direction, there is no change, because the body is falling downwards, so there is no change in the horizontal direction. Whereas in the vertical velocity, either it will increase or decrease in the vertical direction. So when you see the horizontal direction, there is no change, whereas in vertical direction, either there will be increasing or decreasing in the velocity. And there are two types of projectile motion. One is the projectile is given an initial velocity in the horizontal direction, whereas the second one is making an angle to the horizontal. First the body is thrown in the horizontal direction, whereas the second case it is making an angle theta with the horizontal. That projection you can call it as angular projection. And so here next we are going to see about projectile in horizontal projection, that we are going to see now. And here you see an object is thrown from the point O, and let the height is h, that is from a height of building you are throwing an object, and this is the horizontal projection, and u vector is the initial velocity and it reaches at a point A on the ground. So x is called range. Range means the distance between the origin and the point where it reaches the ground. Now we are going to derive the equations one by one, and here when you see the body is falling because of constant acceleration due to gravity g, and here the body is moving in a two-dimensional plane, and here usually the horizontal distance you can take x and the vertical distance as y. No need to write x of t and y of t. And now we can apply the kinematic equations along x direction and y direction separately. First we are going to apply the equations for x direction, and next we are applying the equation for y direction. So first heading is motion along horizontal direction. So horizontal direction means you should take only x suffix, and here the ux remains constant throughout the motion, because there is no change in velocity in the horizontal direction. That point is very important. So the particle has zero acceleration along x direction. So here when you substitute here, the equations become x is equal to, that is s is equal to ut plus half at square. In that, instead of s you substitute x, that is equal to uxt plus half at square. Here it is along x direction, so you can take it as ux. And for initial velocity, there is no acceleration along x direction, because it is moving only downwards, no acceleration along x direction. So you can substitute a is equal to 0, so you get x is equal to uxt. And the next type of motion is downward direction. In the downward direction, uy is equal to 0, because the initial velocity has no downward displacement, and a is equal to g. And in this equation, s is equal to ut plus half at square. substitute s is equal to y, u is equal to uy, because this is in the vertical direction. So vertical direction means you have to substitute y, suffix as y, plus half at square. So here you already know the initial velocity is 0, so y is equal to half gt square, and in this you know t is equal to x by ux, that you substitute here. So y is equal to half g x square by u square. S square can be taken other side, that is other side means out of the bracket. The other things are constant one. G is acceleration due to gravity, and ux is velocity in horizontal direction. Both are same constant, so you can substitute that is equal to y, k. So y is equal to kx square, where k is equal to g by 2x square, 2ux square, and k is a constant. But this is the equation of parabola. Y is equal to kx square is the equation for parabola. So the path followed by the projectile is a parabola, that is a curve OPA. So here in this diagram, the curve OPA is nothing but a parabola. And next we are going to see about time of flight. Time of flight means that is what time it reaches the ground, that is the time taken for the projectile. Projectile means the object to complete its trajectory motion taken by the projectile to hit the ground is called time of flight. That how many seconds it will take to reach the ground. Suppose 2 seconds, 3 seconds or 4 seconds, this time is called as time of flight. And you here consider the example of a tower and the projectile, and you see this diagram. There is one tower, one ball is dropped vertically downwards, other is thrown as a projectile. Here the violet is the projectile just falling down. The red ball represents it is projected. Projected means it is thrown. The second that is the second part, that is red ball shows the body is thrown. And here you know this is in the vertical direction. So sy is equal to uyt plus half at square. Here sy is equal to h, because we are throwing the object from the height h, and t is equal to time, and uy is equal to 0, because no initial vertical velocity. So substituting that, you will get h is equal to half gt square, or t is equal to square root of 2h by g. This time is nothing but time of flight of the projectile. And here when you see this, the body falls vertically and another ball is projected horizontally with the same velocity. Both the balls will reach the same time, will reach the bottom at the same time, because the time of flight does not depend upon what type of projection. So t is the only depends upon the height. So when you see, in both the cases the object takes the same time to reach the ground. If it is projected vertically or if it is projected horizontally, both will take the same time to reach the ground. So this is the main important concept in this. And next we are going to see about the horizontal range. What is horizontal range? How that is here in this diagram, from the origin to A, this is the range. X is the distance covered by the projectile after reaching the ground, and here it is in the horizontal direction. So here x is equal to uxt plus half at square. So whenever in the horizontal direction you are going to measure the distance, you should substitute the suffix as x. Here sx is equal to r is called range, ux is equal to u, and a is equal to 0, because there is no horizontal acceleration, and t is the time of flight. And what is range? Range is equal to u into t, because any distance is given by velocity into time. So u into t. So the time of flight t is equal to here now square root of 2h by g, because you have substituted s is equal to h. So t is equal to 2h by square root of 2h by g, and here r is equal to now u into square root of 2h by g, where r is called the range of the projectile. So here now we are going to see about the resultant velocity. There are two components of velocity along both x-axis and y-axis. When you see this diagram, at the point P, Vx is velocity in the horizontal direction and Vy is the velocity in the vertical direction, and the resultant is given by V of t. that is the tangent to the curve. So v is called resultant velocity. So here in this equation, when you see the horizontal direction, vx is equal to ux plus axt, and here ux is equal to u, you can take it as u, and in the horizontal velocity direction there is no acceleration, so ax becomes 0. So the equation is now vx is equal to u. When you take in the vertical direction means you have to take the suffix x y. So vy is equal to uy plus ayt. In the vertical direction, the initial velocity is equal to 0 and ay becomes g because it is moving under acceleration due to gravity. So substituting that, vy is equal to gt. So when you see the speed, no need to write this equation, and when you see the speed is given by the formula v is equal to square root of vx square plus vy square. Already you know what is vx and vy, and so v is equal to square root of u square plus g square t square, and this is the speed of the projectiles when it hits the ground. So after reaching the ground, that is at the time it reaches the ground, what is the speed that we are going to see now. And you know already this equation, t is equal to square root of 2h by g, and when you take in the horizontal direction, vx is equal to u because the acceleration becomes 0 in this horizontal direction, so vx is equal to u. And when you see the vertical component, v is equal to u plus at, in that the u becomes 0 and a is equal to g. So in the horizontal direction, in the vertical direction, vy is equal to gt, and substituting for t, you get square root of 2h by g, and g and square root of g get cancelled, and so within the square root you will get 2gh. So when you see the speed has a formula, v is equal to square root of vx square plus vy square. Substituting for vx and vy, you will get v is equal to square root of u square plus 2gh. So this is about the horizontal projection. Hope you understand, girls.